The Taj Mahal is considered the finest example of Mughal architecture, a style that combines elements from Persian, Indian, and Islamic architectural styles. In 1983, the Taj Mahal became a UNESCO World Heritage Site and was cited as the jewel of Muslim art in India, and one of the universally admired masterpieces of the world's heritage. The Taj, an awe-inspiring poetry in marble, stands high and serene by the banks of the river Yamuna, is an inspiring result of the application of architectural and scientific research. The tomb, laid out in rectangular shape, can be approached through an immense gateway with huge arch, and alcoves strewn on either side that stands tall and erect, as though guarding something precious. 3 other smaller gateways follow the red sandstone towers topped with domes in white marble, together make a pretty picture. The Taj is an experience of its own kind, while on the one hand its magnanimity is so sublime, so on the other the exquisite inlay work and detailed craftsmanship together with the calligraphy is simply amazing. The combination simply leaves one absolutely mesmerized. The sheer splendor of the mausoleum is consummate, and the vastness is simply monumental. The tomb is at the northern end with an expanse of greenery, and fountains between it and the gateways. The ceiling is adorned with floral patterns, and the decoration of floors with geometric designs. The inner of the main structure is in Loch-Oria kind of earthen brick, which have been carefully covered with marble, whereas the adjoining structures are covered with red sandstone. Majestic and sensuous, glistening brightly in the afternoon sun, the bulbous dome and minarets with a slight inward tilt, have all been inscribed meticulously, with the holy verses bringing forth the arabesque ornamentation. The white marble from Makrana in Rajasthan has added its own natural beauty to this mausoleum, that attracts tourists from all over the world. As one goes around, the most breathtaking part remains the exquisite, inlay work that looks up from every nook and corner of the facade. The blooms are worked out in immense detail, and every dot and alphabet of the Holy Quran is neatly etched, cut and inlaid to perfection. The flowers, chiefly lilies, mirror the Mughal love for gardens. One particular flower on the tomb of Mumtaz Mahal is said to have been inlaid with 35 different precious stones. The central hall is surrounded by 8 rooms that have a corridor running through them. The aura of serenity is all-pervading, while translucent glass separates them to let in the dim sunlight, making the interiors look solemn and intriguing. Indeed, a masterpiece that none would ever be able to replicate, including the original craftsmen, artisans, and designers themselves. While a visitor is still managing to grasp the symmetry of the structures, set across the length and breadth of the complex, the Taj Mahal appears deep in the distance, indeed a spectacular sight to behold, forever. However, it is the dome that leaves one gasping in awe. While the outer dome rises to 44.4 meters in height, the inner is 24.35 meters, an architectural and technical feat. Ismail Efendi from Turkey, who also worked for the Ottomans, is said to have been its designer. Marking an amalgam of Hindu and Islamic architecture, are the typically Hindu chhatris, an umbrella-like structure at the dome base from the corners. Shah Jahan has similarly left his individual imprint in several other aspects of the architecture as well. The cenotaph over Shah Jahan's tomb has an inkwell, while that of Mumtaz Mahal a slate over it, as it is said a man writes his desires on the woman's heart. The epitaphs, in addition to regular pronouncements about the individual, have verses from the Holy Quran. The exquisite craftsmanship marks the marble lattice screens, which are elaborately worked out in Oriental design, enclose the cenotaphs. The tombs lie below the cenotaphs in a basement, undisturbed and in absolute quiet environment. What we do not see now are the bowls full of jewels on Mumtaz Mahal's tomb, the Persian carpets on the floor, and the silver doorways and overhanging chandeliers that once made up the inner decor. Coming out of prevailing solemnity in the environs, one gets speechless with awe at the grandeur of the bygone era, enticing particularly the panels with lilies and tulips together, with iris flowers that symbolize death. The Makrana marble will perhaps never again be handled with so much grace and care, and such elegance of balancing the ornamentation on it. The beauty and splendor of elegant craftsmanship that makes up the inlay work and calligraphy, in fact, further accentuates the deathly calm of the mausoleum, and in the quietude, it is the softly filtering rays of the sun through the lattice work on marble panels that strikes one as unusually ethereal in nature. Outside, one would have to crane one's neck to look up at the apex of the dome, high and mighty against the skyline. Secluded and singular in majesty, the structure stands clearly apart from everything around it. The balance of all the elements, the garden, the fountain, and water channel, and in the end the gateway, all look exquisitely managed to provide maximum harmony in terms of visual appeal. The sheer beauty of the outside of a monument marks the serenity within. The Taj Mahal, for which not only the course of river Yamuna is said to have been diverted, but as per interpretation of the Archaeological Survey of India, the Yamuna was incorporated into the garden design, for the belief that it's one of the rivers of paradise. The moods of the Taj vary from dawn to dusk. It looks milky white in the soft light that characterizes early morning, while the afternoon sun makes it glisten bright and dazzling in the overhead sunlight, almost looking like a jewel against the opaque blue of the skyline, and then comes a moonlit Taj, breaking into the night sky. Majestic and simply beautiful, in a sense that cannot be put into words. The sensuous appeal can never be more heightened, as on a full moon night when it shines like a pearl, making the visitor stand agape at the spectacle. The romanticism and sheer majesty of the structure is unbelievably true. No wonder if millions of people chose it amongst the world's top wonders. Who could ever think that an eternal love, leading to the saga of infinite bondage, can evolve out of a desert-like land, and would blossom to be the reason to gift our world a poem in marble, the Taj? No image of the Taj, neither on canvas nor on celluloid, can adequately express its conceptual imaginary, nor convey the legend, the poetry, and the romance that shrouds what Rabindranath Tagore calls a teardrop on the cheek of time. The Taj Mahal, a spectacle in white marble, unparalleled in grandeur, that depicts the sheer opulence of an era. The awesome structure, the monument of love that Mughal Emperor Shah Jahan gave to the world, stands as a testimony of his intense love for his wife Mumtaz Mahal. It is a romance celebrated in marble, and glorified with precious and semi-precious stones, and that's the way to appreciate it. Uttar Pradesh, the land of the Taj, is rich in its cultural heritage, and has always been a prominent arena of politics since the ancient times. Agra, the city of the Taj, and once the capital of the Mughal Empire, during the 16th through the early 18th centuries, enjoys a close proximity to the national capital, city of New Delhi. Tourists from all over the world visit Agra to make a pilgrimage to Taj Mahal, India's most famous architectural wonder, in a land where magnificent temples and edifices abound to remind visitors about the rich civilization of a country that is slowly but surely lifting itself into an industrialized society as well. Taj Mahal means crown palace, and is in fact the most well-preserved and architecturally beautiful tomb in the world. The English poet, Sir Edwin Arnold, has described the Taj as not a piece of architecture, as other buildings are, but the proud passions of an emperor's love wrought in living stones. It is a romance celebrated in marble, and glorified with precious and semi-precious stones, and that's the way to appreciate it. Taj Mahal stands on the bank of river Yamuna, which otherwise serves as a wide moat defending the Great Red Fort of Agra, the center of the Mughal emperors, until they moved their capital to Delhi in 1637. It was built by the fifth Mughal emperor, Shah Jahan in 1631, in memory of his third, but the most favorite wife, in fact a soulmate Mumtaz Mahal, a Muslim Persian princess. She died while accompanying her husband, in Burhanpur in a campaign to crush a rebellion, after giving birth to their 13th child. The death so crushed the emperor, that all his hair and beard were said to have grown snow white in a few months. When Mumtaz Mahal was still alive, she extracted 4 promises from the emperor: first, that he build the Taj; second, that he should marry again; third, that he be kind to their children; and fourth, that he visit the tomb on her death anniversary. However, due to ill health, and being under house arrest by his own son, and successor to the throne, Aurangzeb, barred him from continue to keep the last promise. The Taj rises on a high red sandstone base, topped by a huge white marble terrace, on which rests the famous dome, flanked by 4 tapering minarets. Within the dome, lies the jewel-inlaid cenotaph of the queen. So exquisite is the workmanship, that the Taj has been described as having been designed by giants, and finished by jewelers. The only asymmetrical object in the Taj is the casket of the emperor, which was built beside the queen's as an afterthought. Legend has it that during his 8 years long ailment and imprisonment, Shah Jahan used to intensely view the Taj, lying on the bed through a diamond, fixed in the wall in front at a particular angle. Wow! As a tribute to a woman of exotic beauty, and as a monument of a love story, which is keeping us engrossed, even when hearing the story here, truly an everlasting romance of a love not ended as yet, the Taj reveals its subtleties to its beholder. The rectangular base of Taj is in itself symbolic of the different sides from which to view a beautiful woman. The main gate is like a veil to a woman's face, which should be lifted delicately, gently, and without haste on the wedding night. In Indian tradition, the veil is lifted gently to reveal the beauty of the bride. As one stands inside the main gate of Taj, his eyes are directed to an arch, which frames the Taj. The dome is made of white marble, but the tomb is set against the plain, across the river, and it is this background that works its magic of colors that, through their reflection, change the view of the Taj. The colors change at different hours of the day, and during different seasons. The Taj sparkles like a jewel, in moonlight when the semi-precious stones, inlaid into the white marble, on the main mausoleum catch, and reflect back its glow, with a better gleam. The Taj is pinkish, in the morning, milky white in the evening, and golden when the moon shines. These changes, they say, depict the different moods of a beauty of any kind. Different people have different views of the Taj, but it would be enough to say that the Taj has a life of its own, that leaps out of marble. A masterpiece of the art and science of architecture, a representative of an era called the Mughal period, surpassing any authority to add or de-add anything, in any sense in or out of the Taj. The Taj Mahal stands tall with grace, is not just a parable epitome of emotional and eternal love between a man and a woman, but for other reasons too. Emperor Shah Jahan, who commissioned the construction of the Taj, desired to create it also, as a symbol of solemnity, harmony, purity, and spirituality as well. The Taj is not merely a monument of grace and dignity alone. It is, in fact, a message to all mankind that pure love is the soul of life. The Taj is a reminder for all mankind, about the universally accepted, but not so well practiced concept of love and peace, the essence of the paradise, free from conflicts of races, and geographical boundaries is important, to be observed solemnly. The Taj is simply a majestic tribute, to an exotic beauty. The saga of the Taj, would be half told, if the myths related to it are not mentioned. Like many, great buildings, the Taj Mahal has its myths and legends. It seems that, there is more fiction on the Taj, than serious scholarly research. Several of the stories, belong solely to oral tradition, and are told by the guides. Some are so established that, they form a popular history of the monument, and have made their way into guidebooks, and some have been taken up by scholars, or even created by them, and thus become part of the scholarly debate. Facts. To the last category, belong the oldest tales of the Taj. Here the most widely known is the story of the second Taj, the Black Taj, which Shah Jahan intended to build in black marble, opposite the present mausoleum, on the site of the Mathab Bagh. It goes back to Jean-Baptiste Tavernier who, when at Agra in 1665 AD, reported that Shah Jahan began to build his own tomb, on the other side of the river, but the war with his sons interrupted his plan, and Aurangzeb, who reigns at present, is not disposed to complete it. Shah Jahan was put under house arrest, by his own son, and successor by force, Aurangzeb. The latter did not agree with his father, on most issues and was particularly opposed to him, building a Black Taj as his own mausoleum. Upon Shah Jahan's death, Aurangzeb made the body of the emperor, who got the body of his beloved Mumtaz in a golden casket from Burhanpur to Agra, carried in a boat by only 2 men and buried him in the Taj, next to his wife in probably the simplest manner. Shah Jahan, the emperor, who fulfilled the wishes of his beloved, could not find fulfillment of his own wish, to build a Black Taj, to express his mourning, for the beloved Queen Mumtaz Mahal, even after his death. That was the serenity in the purity of love.